I've come down to the ground floor of my house to do this because I like to work on the floor. If I work on a tabletop it will vibrate and annoy my neighbours, so I try not to do that. So first of all I need to make holes in the vinyl I'm going to use as my handles. This is the purpose of this particular, these rivets. They're going to hold handles on to this bag. So what I need to do first is decide where I need to put those holes. I'm going to do that by folding this over by about an inch, kind of deciding where I want those holes to be. And I'm going to use an awl just to kind of poke where I want the rivet to go. So when I open that back up again, you can see the holes where I need to punch so that I can put the rivets through. I have a leather punch, but you could use the awl again and just kind of wiggle it around until it's a big enough hole. You can use a small pair of scissors to make it a little bit bigger as well if you don't have one of these. So I'm going to use the flat side of my anvil. I'm going to position the strap over it and the punch over the little holes that I made, and then give it a couple of taps with a hammer. And that punches a hole right out of there, so I just need to do that for the same with the other one. So now I know where my rivets are going to go. I'm just going to fold it in half and make a mark with the awl again, so I know exactly where I need the holes at the other side to go to. So each one of these handles is going to have 4 holes in it. Once the holes are there, you're ready to put the rivets in. So I'm going to slip this through the rectangle ring because once the rivet is in, that's permanent. So I'll have no other way of getting this onto the ring if I don't attach it now. I'm going to line it up so those 2 holes are together and I can see all the way through. And then the rivets come in 2 parts. There's a longer part, and then there's also a cap that goes on the end. So the longer part I'm going to feed through from the front, through both of the holes, and then the cap will kind of snap into place on the back. And you can hear it click. And then I'm just going to attach the other side of the handle in exactly the same way. And now these rivets need setting in place. So to do that, I'm going to flip my anvil over so that it's the rounded side pointing upwards. The reason it's rounded is because these rivets are also rounded, and if you had it flat it would flatten them out, and it gives it a much nicer finish if you can keep the rounded shape of the rivets. That goes against the anvil, and then you need your setting tool. And the setting tool, you're going to use the rounded side on that too for the same reason. And then you're going to align that with the back, so you're kind of sandwiching it in between the anvil and the setter. And you're going to grab your hammer again, or your mallet, and give it a few taps. And if you give it a bit of a feel, make sure that it's not rattling, you know that you've set that well. And then I'm just going to do the other one too. And now you have your rivets permanently in the bag. I just need to do the ones on the other side now. So rivets are really easy to do. They look professional and they might seem intimidating at first, but they're really very simple. So hopefully you'll give it a try.